yourself, is there a cure for autism? If yes, I want you to know you're not alone. This question is common for parents, teachers, and even therapists like me. Before we dive in, if you want honest answers about autism grounded in science and compassion, please subscribe to my channel, where I share videos that help parents and professionals cut through myths, understand real research, and find practical strategies to support children on the spectrum. And if this video resonates with you, don't forget to share it with someone who may need it. As a BCBA and licensed behavior analyst, I've worked with children on the spectrum for more than 8 years. And like many of you, I waited with curiosity for President Trump's recent speech on September 22nd, 2025, hoping maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe there's a new research. Maybe the world was finally going to hear the answer to this difficult question. Is there a cure for autism? But what followed was a series of statements, some known, some conflicted, and some concerning. Let's walk through them together. President Trump mentioned that autism rates have risen dramatically from 1 in 20,000 to 1 in 10,000, and now 1 in 31 children are diagnosed with autism.
It used to be 1 in 20,000, then 1 in 10,000, and I would say that's probably 18 years ago, and now it's 1 in 31.
Yes, the numbers are rising. But here's the key. This is not because autism is spreading like an infection. The rise reflects how science has evolved. We now have better diagnostic tools, broader definitions, and greater awareness. Decades ago, many children were overlooked or misdiagnosed. Today, we can identify and support them earlier and more accurately. Next came a claim that unvaccinated children don't develop autism.
And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism.
This is not true. Autism occurs regardless of vaccination status. Large studies, including one famous Danish study in 2002 with over 537,000 children, found no increased risk of autism among vaccinated versus unvaccinated children. As Very Well Health summarizes, vaccinated children are autistic at the same rate as unvaccinated children. This has been replicated in studies after studies, over 20 large-scale scientific studies worldwide. The conclusion is clear. Vaccines do not cause autism. Another statement that Amish people don't have autism.
But you have certain groups, the Amish as an example, they have essentially no autism.
But the truth is more complex. 2 studies found low reported rates of autism among Amish community. However, researchers explain that underdiagnosis is likely. Amish families may have less access to specialized healthcare. Cultural norms may affect how behaviors are reported, and standard screening tools were, of course, designed for majority populations and may miss cases in communities with different cultural expectations. So, the real rate of autism among the Amish may in fact be higher once underdiagnosis is considered. Another conflicted claim was about Tylenol or acetaminophen, called paracetamol in Europe. Trump suggested it should not be taken during pregnancy.
Acetaminophen, is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
I consider this as a dangerous advice. Here's why. High fever in early pregnancy can cause serious harm to a developing fetus. Tylenol is often the safest option for reducing fever in pregnant women. A large Swedish study published in 2014 looked at over 64,000 children and found only a small association between prolonged maternal acetaminophen use and developmental concerns. But follow-up twins and sibling studies suggested this may be due to genetics or environment, not the medication itself. What we know for sure is this. No study has proven that Tylenol causes autism. Tylenol has been in use since the 1950s, long after autism was first described in 1943 by Leo Kanner. Autism existed decades before acetaminophen. The real danger is untreated fever in pregnancy. As a mother myself, I took Tylenol when I had COVID during pregnancy to control a high fever. I now have a perfectly healthy, neurotypical child. So my advice, never tough it up. Always consult your doctor. There was also a return to the old claim that vaccines, specifically the mercury and aluminum in them, causes autism.
I also, and we've already done this, we want no mercury in the vaccine. We want no aluminum in the vaccine.
Here is what the science has to say about this. Mercury is not in routine childhood vaccines. The ingredient that caused fears years ago was thimerosal, a preservative that contained a form of mercury. But thimerosal was removed from all routine childhood vaccines in the United States back in 2001. The only exception is some multi-dose flu shots, but even there, you can ask for a thimerosal-free single-dose version. Aluminium is in some vaccines, but in teeny amounts. Aluminium is used as a helper that makes vaccines more effective by training the immune system better. The amount in vaccines is extremely small, less than what babies naturally get from breast milk, formula, or even water as they grow. Studies show those amounts are far below any safety risk. Can vaccines be made without those heavy metals? The answer is yes, and in fact, many already are. There are thimerosal-free vaccines, and some vaccines don't use aluminum at all. But when aluminum is used, it's because it helps the vaccines work better and protect children from dangerous diseases. Removing it completely without alternatives could make some vaccines less effective. The evidence is overwhelming. More than 20 large international studies covering millions of children show no link between vaccines and autism. Organizations like CDC, the World Health Organization, and the National Academies of Science have all confirmed the same thing. Vaccines do not cause autism. The truth is this: vaccines save lives. Choosing not to vaccinate doesn't protect a child. It exposes them to real, preventable diseases like measles, polio, or whooping cough, and those illnesses can cause lifelong disabilities or even death. In the announcement was also mentioned leucovorin, a form of folinic acid, suggesting it as a treatment.
We have also identified an exciting therapy that may benefit large numbers of children who suffer from autism. Peer-reviewed literature has documented that up to 60% of folate-deficient children with ASD can have improved verbal communications if given leucovorin.
Here's the truth. Leucovorin is used in cancer chemotherapy. Some small studies, like the study from 2018, have shown improvement in speech and behaviors for certain children with autism who also had folate metabolism problems. But results are mixed, and it's not a cure. This substance is experimental and should never replace established evidence-based therapies. So, what do we make of all this? Autism is not caused by a single factor. It's not caused by vaccines. It's not caused by Tylenol. It's not erased by a supplement. Autism is a spectrum condition with multiple influences: genetic, environment, neurological, and no single seed. What matters most is supporting children where they are, their strengths, their challenges, and their individuality. I know parents want answers. I know it hurts to hear conflicted information from leaders and media. But let me say this clearly. Autism does not have a cure yet, but children with autism do have hope, progress, and future. And as parents, therapists, and caretakers, our role is to guide them with love, acceptance, and evidence-based care. Please, don't lose hope. Don't blame yourself. Don't let misinformation distract you. Cherish your child every day for who they are, because autism is not the end of possibility. It is the start of a different, unique path. I'm Olga Serbo, board-certified behavior analyst and licensed behavior analyst. For over 8 years, I've walked this journey with families just like yours. But every day, I'm reminded our children are not problems to be fixed, but lives to be supported, celebrated, and loved. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos where we break down myths, share science, and give practical tools to families living with autism. And if you know another parent, teacher, or caregiver who may need this information, please share this video with them. Together, we can spread hope, fight misinformation and build a stronger, more supportive community for our children.